rocket unit. They're located right here in the Horse Cross. They're one of the oldest mounted units in North America. They're mounted officers for the patrol of city streets in the fire and enforcement law. Trooper Ed Stafford. Not the world that is a color-bearing corps. We are so pleased to acknowledge and honor the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Well, we have a little... And in the Jeep follow... And in a minute, we're going to welcome the Governor General's Horse Guards Band. And we welcome the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada Association. They're the longest serving infantry regiment. They've taken part in every Canadian military campaign and served with distinction in World War I and World War II, in which 7 riflemen were awarded the Victoria Cross. And now we welcome the Canadian Airborne Forces Association. They represent Canadian paratroopers from World War II to the present day. They've served in conflicts throughout the world, maintaining a high standard of professionalism and loyalty to Canada. And the next group will be near and dear to our reviewing officer's heart because it's the 99th in Inter-Organization of Women Pilots. Remembrance, military, and commemorating events. Service Corps, and she served in the Canadian Reserve. Vehicle 6, we have Chief Warrant Officer, 2nd Class, Alan Leslie. He served with the East Coast Destroyer, Iroquois. In Vehicle 7, we have Corporal Bill Timchuk. He served in World War II. He's 102 years young. Let's give him a big hand.
Highlanders, Veterans Association. They exist to preserve the bonds of comradeship among Highlanders, to promote traditional and well-being of the 48th, and to generate pride and esprit de corps among the regimental family. We now welcome the Toronto Paramedic Services Ceremonial Guard. They've celebrated 30 years of marching with pride. This award-winning contingent has participated in countless parades. Members as well as St. John veterans and retired officers and members. All members are volunteers providing first aid duties and training to the communities they serve. And vehicle number 8, we have Corporal Thomas Allen, who served with 411 Squadron in Downsfield. He's serving in the Canadian Reserve. From the American Legion 457. And I would like to mention that with the Toronto Police, the Veterans Unit today, marching with them was 98-year-old Jack Reed, who joined the Royal Canadian Navy in 1943. They're Canada's largest private sector employee of veterans, with over 22,000 employees across Canada. They're a not-for-profit organization with a social mandate to provide meaningful employment to former members of the Canadian Armed Forces, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Allied Forces. And with them is the Great Lakes Commissionaires Service Women's Organization. And we welcome the Toronto Highlanders War Veterans Association. And now the City of Toronto Canadian Veterans Color Party Group. They were formed in 1929, made up of civic employees of the City of Toronto. Their guard commander is Kelly Jackson. And the Toronto Transit Commission Supervisory Honor Guard. They're celebrating 27 years. And we have with us coming up the Scarborough Pipes and Drums. They were established in 1959, and the band wears the McLean of Duart tartan and cap bag. They're a very active Royal Canadian Legion band comprised of members of all ages and backgrounds, performing traditional Scottish music. And now we welcome York Regional Police Ceremonial Unit. They represent the Chief of Police of York Region, and the unit consists of sworn police officers from all areas of York Region. And now we welcome the Canada Border Services Agency Ceremonial Unit. This December, they'll be celebrating their 20th anniversary. And now we welcome the Ontario Correctional Services Ceremonial Unit. Don't worry about it. And we have the Vintage Signals team. They consist of 3 district sections that include not only vintage signals, but a radio section and Cold War section. Welcome the Royal Canadian Legion, District E, Mass Pipes and Drums, with the committee chairs and provincial council members. And we thank you folks for the great work you do every day in all of our communities. And the Dairy Fruit Band. They're a non-profit organization comprised of volunteer musicians, founded in 1908 in Toronto by a group of Irish immigrants from the county of Derry. And the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 614, Scarborough, corporately named Centennial Branch because they were formed in 1967. They'll be celebrating their 97th anniversary. And coming up, Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 43, Oshawa, Pipes and Drums. And they were the previous winners of the Honorable Lincoln Alexander Pipe Band Award. Coming up shortly, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 121 Gulf. Their branch now has the largest color party. They have reached a membership of 24, and they proudly served the East York and surrounding communities for over 97 years, and they're still counting. Next we have Royal Canadian Legion Branch 31, Mount Dennis. The Parade Marshal for the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 31 is Peter DeBruin. We have the White Heather Pipes and Drums. They're under the leadership of Pipe Major David Beach, and they wear the ancient McPherson tartan. Coming up next is Royal Canadian Legion District E. The Royal Canadian Legion provides services to all veterans, including serving military RCMP members and their families, and also to promote remembrance and serve our communities and country. Now we have the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 110 from Trenton, Ontario. They being a carrier. The Royal Canadian Legion also sponsor poster, literary, and public speaking contests to encourage our children and youth to learn more about our Canadian military history and honor remembrance in creative ways.
have the Royal Regiment of Canada Band. They're commemorating the 81st anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 178, Canadian Veterans Marching Unit. And now we welcome the Republic of Vietnam Veterans Association. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary of the association in Ontario. Estimated that the Vietnam War resulted in the deaths of as many as 2 million Vietnamese civilians, 1,100,000 North Vietnamese soldiers, and 250,000 South Vietnamese soldiers. And now we have the Dominion of Canada Reenactment Corps, an American Legion Post 457, Sealy B Parish. They've received numerous awards over the years, including memory from our Wars Day Parade. And in the vehicle, we have Mr. Ralph Miller from the American Legion 457. Thanks for all the support you continue to give us, because their war began in 1937. And this color party coming up, led by Captain Yu Chin Fong. And the Korean Marine Veterans Association color party. So we welcome the Polish White Eagles Cruising Club. They're a club that ride in support of their veterans. Finds help they need to leave the streets, working with local lead assistance.